So I know several of you, a lot of you were on the training in person. In the Indianapolis market, several of you here in the Louisville market virtually back in May. We pivoted after that training, right? This is a pilot program for multi-homes. So we are the second division in the company to roll out patio. We're very excited for. The push out was to make sure that we're rolling out the in-unit product here as best as possible. Okay. So with me today, Andy Schuler, procurement manager based out of our Indianapolis office. He's going to present some of the slide deck to you. Aaron Quinley, procurement agent here in the Louisville market, many of you are familiar with, and Daniel Cox, senior procurement agent here as well. Sabrina Chen, procurement analyst, is going to be monitoring the online virtual questions. Do encourage those that are virtual today to submit your questions via the chat and Q&A, and we will get to them as they are submitted. We want to take enough time today to answer everybody's questions, right? To make sure you leave with as much information as possible, knowing that there will be further communication and direct dialogue and communication with your agent if you need further assistance. Okay, so Andy's going to go through the PO sample review. Aaron's going to hit on the price schedule and what that means. Okay, we're going to have a BWP demo from one of our implementation specialists, Kevin McFall. He will be virtual. Okay, but I think it'll be important for him to show how it interacts with the BWP module as well. Okay, PO validation, task completion, payments. Daniel's going to hit on, right? It's all fun and good if you get a purchase order, but who cares if you don't get paid, right? So he's going to hit on how, when, how you're going to track that, right? And how we're going to support it, right? We're not just going to roll out this program, leave you on your own. Talk about how we support you through this transition, and then timeline questions to kind of wrap up. Okay, I'm going to spend 5 minutes here, right? When we interact before, when we interact after, right? A lot of the questions are, how's it going, right? How's the market doing? So just want to spend the first five minutes here just giving a general market overview, right? I think I talked about these focus areas in nauseam. Our teams heard about these focus areas in nauseam through 2025, right? We believe we can key in on these 5 focus areas, and we're going to be operating an efficient business in both markets, right? So kind of sounds corny. You probably hear a lot of people say, hey, we want to be the builder of choice, right? What's that mean? To us in procurement, right? This is a big step forward to being the builder of choice, right? We might be operating the field efficiently, right? Schedule accuracy might be on. You might be hyper focused on schedule adherence, right? But if in the back end your accounting team's screaming at you as the check comes in and saying, I'm spending all these hours reconciling Pulte's payment, right? You may not be built for choice, right? So this is a big part of that. And our focus on the operation, right, is to be one of the best builders in each market. We're going to be a top 3 builder in any market that we're operating in. If you look at the permit data, we are number 3 in the Louisville market, number 2 in the Indianapolis market. We don't want to be top from a volume standpoint. We want to obviously build the best product in the best locations as well. So when the market contracts, right, which we're seeing a lot of uncertainty now, we know that Pulte's building some of the best locations in the market where we're not going to see the slowdown that maybe some of our competitors are going to see. That's a lot about builder of choice, right? Start your engines. So huge year for Pulte and our division this year for opening new communities, right? We've got last 12 months, 20 plus new assets in both markets opened up. Some very strong positions, right? We want to be in A locations, right? Down here, that means Jefferson County, right? Think Aiken Ridge, right? A location. Indianapolis market, right? Noblesville, Greenwood. We opened 2 new Del Webb products, the Del Webb brand, right? Resonates. It's a differentiator in a lot of markets for an age-restricted 55 plus and older community. So we feel like we've opened those communities the right way to be successful in an uncertain market. So we're proud of how that's went this year. The need for speed, right? Do everything quickly, urgency, right? That's what we want to portray to our trade partners as well as our internal team, right? If you're not getting answers from us, let us know, right? We want to be responsive, right? No asset left behind. We need every community to perform, right? So I talked about the Aiken Ridge down here, which some know about, right? Jefferson County assets performing well. But we need Cherry Glen, Creek Stones, the other communities to continue to sell homes, to move, right? And even flow business is what we all want, right? We talk about project out to our trade partners that, hey, we expect 60 homes a year in this community. Okay, well, do the math, right? We've got to sell five a month in that community. So we want every asset to perform, right? Or fill the boat, fuel growth for our future, right? So our land act team, land development team, they're not looking at how we can build our business next year, right? Entitlements and land act, utilities, right? We know the pace that utilities move sometime. We got to be looking 3-4 years out to be able to overfill the boat, right? We got to have more land positions. We got to have more lots under contract, more letters of intent with potential land sellers than that we're going to produce, right? Because a lot of that's going to fall off. And then find balance, right? Focus on costs and then maximizing, pricing opportunities, right? Cost down, high performing assets. Maybe we have the opportunity to maximize the revenue side as well. So we want to find balance. General state of the business right now, right? We're in Q4. Our fiscal year ends at the calendar year, so we've got a line of sight. Pulte gets paid when a home closes, right? So we've got a line of sight in our business to achieve, north of 1,150 homes in both markets, right? Strong number. We will achieve our initial goal this year, but that's mainly due to a lot of new communities pulling communities ahead, right? We did them quicker than we thought we were going to do, got them open, outperformed in some of the new assets. So it's helped us, succeed in a market that's very uncertain, right? A lot of our competition, a lot of surrounding markets, Midwest, Louisville are in a better place, right? Less volatility when it comes to housing. And we're seeing that exponentially this year, right? We're hearing from the southwest coastal markets, how constrained housing and housing permits are. And it's the same here, right? We're down from what we projected year over year on the permit data. Some of our competitors are having layoffs, right? Having massive price deducts and asks, right? We're all looking for how we're going to keep our employees moving, how we're going to control overhead, and no different than us. So we appreciate everyone here, I guess is the end message to that. You guys have helped us keep moving, and we want to have strategic conversations with every one of you, right? On what that means for our business in 2026 and beyond. That's the point we're at right now, right? Still a ton of uncertainty out there, even with interest rates ticking a little bit lower, right? We all see the news, read the news, watch the news, right? It's volatile. So we're optimistic, yet we all need to be smart in how we're managing our businesses, no different than how we're going to look at it. All right, back to PO. This is the roadmap, right? The implementation roadmap. Just kind of wanted to give you a sneak peek here. It's not a sneak peek, but a view of where we're at. We're a pilot division, right? October 2025, that's today. Indianapolis, Louisville market is rolling out, releasing target date. We're going to talk about on the path to PO. And then here's the rest of the markets divisions behind us, right? Why were we chosen? Because we've got a strong group of trade partners. We got a strong professional group of individuals that we know that this is going to be successful with. So as we get into this and as we talk further, right, this is a two-way street, right? When we start collaborating with the purchase orders, with your procurement agent, what's working, what's not working, right? What do you like, what do you not like? That's what we're going to ask you for today, right? Once this is rolled out next week, we need that collaboration. Okay. What does this mean to you? So less admin work, more transparency, better material accuracy. All three of those, right, mean something different to every one of you. Some of you deal with itemized pricing, ship what we tell you to ship, or the materials that we provide. Some of you are lump sum pricing, right? This is going to mean something different to each of you, and that's why this presentation is unique, because you each have a different business. But purchase orders will make managing your pulte account easier. No one's going to be able to argue that, right? You will get a purchase order before you start the job. That's the amount you're going to get paid on, right? Simple concept, but bold statement. That's what you're going to receive. That's different than how we're managing our business today, correct? With Schedule A's. So clears up a lot of that confusion on the front end. So more transparency, clearer view of the ordering process, way we build job specific selections, right? So those that ship itemized price lists, right? That have a long lumber list or list of several different types of flooring material, right? It's going to tell you what to ship and how much of it with the pricing included. So better than we have today, right? Better material accuracy, right? So that's where we're auditing these on the front end. We're making sure we ship the right thing. We're job site checking them. Our construction team can pull the purchase order to look at, right? It's going to create more accuracy in our job site. Less tires on the job site creates more efficiency for both of us. Our support you, trade partner training, right? Doing that today that our local procurement team, right? This group, those that are online in Indianapolis, they're going to be your direct link, right? And that direct link, that focus is going to shift to the front end when you receive it in lieu of, hey, something went wrong. How do we fix it? Nope, those days are over. How do we fix it before it ships to the material, it ships to the job site? In market training, right? Doing that now, but this is collaboration. Procurement, construction, our construction teams are getting trained. They need to know, they will know what it means. We're ready to support you. BWP integration, right? So everybody should be familiar with BWP. Everybody must have an account for BWP, right? That is our system, right? Proprietary to Pulte, built with Pulte, that our schedules are on, that integrates with yourselves, that then the purchase orders are going to flow through to. Okay. Job purchase order. Ask Andy Schuler to come up here and present this section.
So, job purchase order, what does the purchase order actually look like? So there's a couple components that we need to have a purchase order: trade price list and bond data. So what are you getting paid? How much are you shipping? That equates to the purchase order. We're going to start somewhat at the final product here and work our way backwards so you guys can see what the end goal actually looks like to better understand the beginning of it. So this is a purchase order. You all have printouts as well that'll show this. Might be a little bit hard to see if you're just looking up here at the screen. Easier to see on the computer as well, but I'll just go through some of the data. If you've seen a lot level BOM, lot level bill of materials before, it's very similar. It's a very similar concept. The two big drivers of this that are different than our lot level bill of materials is this has pricing on it and it ties to a specific house. So if a price change were to change, with homes in production, it would be applicable towards that actual house. So those are two big changes. So at the beginning, or at the very top of it, there's some very simple, more job specific type data. What's the community? What's your trade partner name? The address, market, et cetera, et cetera. You will see on here, there's a contact name. The contact name is your construction manager for that lot. So if you see an issue with purchase order, Your construction manager is not the contact. They're the contact for that job. If you have an issue with pricing, the quantity, please reach out to your procurement team to navigate that conversation. So as we're looking at the SKUs, in this scenario, we have a customized frozen banana. It's our first SKU. Freeze bananas, banana bunch. It's all of the room locations. So you may or may not have some of this data on your PO. If you have a category where room locations are very important, you will have that. Drywall, where's it going to be stocked? Flooring, where's it going to be installed? Those are a couple examples where room locations should probably are on your bill of materials. Your unit of measure could be each, a bundle, square, lineal foot, square foot, et cetera, quantity of material, what your unit cost is, and then an aggregated total for that individual SKU. We'll all calculate at the end. You'll have subtotal, sales tax, grand total, and then if you get paid different allocations based off the stage of the house, it'll show those payment allocations as well. At the bottom, you will see the options that all have budgetary amounts in your historical Schedule A. I'll put in quotes as we navigate away from Schedule A's, but that you budgeted amounts for, or there's a takeoff variation. So it shows you everything that's being accounted for in your total, and then every individual piece of material that you should ship out. So this is an itemized SKU level detailed type PO. This is end goal. This is where we want everyone to be. If you have questions, please ask as well as we're going through this one to be. Go ahead. So the purchase order, great question, is at the top. So the question that I was asked was, if you have a, how do you identify the purchase order number? How do you tie it back? At the top, you can see PO number, HCP 112363, I think is what it says. Good question. So the purchase order, asking about how it's broken down, if there's a couple different allocations, it's by the account category. So all of the account would have one purchase order, and then it would show the payments underneath. So this total payment, I'm going to walk in front, is $448. If it was a 75-25 payment split, you'd see what, $336 and then $112. But it would show both line items on this purchase order. So this next slide, this is the same purchase order, but this is if you do not have SKU level detail. This is if you just have a lump sum. So in this scenario, we are paying Bluth's Frozen Banana Stand a $448 lump sum for their account category of surveying. We don't know what that entails. We don't have SKU level broken down. We don't have unit of measure, etc. So even if you have lump sums, you will still receive a purchase order with all the same information. But if the question comes up of, hey, I think we might be forgetting, this SKU or this whatever, the data's not there. So in goal, slide before, have SKU level detail. If you don't, you will still receive a purchase order. Yep. So question is, if there's a price change that affects the PO that you already have, you will receive a new PO. We're going to go through, Kevin McFall, who's on virtually, will show you how you can find that, what exactly it looks like. But you will see it on BWP, just click kind of smart notes. You'll see it on BWP and it'll have a different letter distinguishing the change at the end with the price change. But what's the second part? Operators. Yeah, so just general guidance on POs. It's based off, I would say, account category setup and how your account is set up. the goal would be it's one PO really per category, but it can change based off how your account's been set up for the last 30 years of scheduling data that we've had. So I would recommend if you have questions, if you have multiple categories you manage, reach out to your procurement agent. They'll be able to provide that feedback because it can vary by, like I said, by account category, by trade. So similar question. Is the whole job going to be on one PO or is it going to be broken out by, pre-bat, blend-in, et cetera, installation? Same answer as this is what I gave. It's going to vary based off how your account is set up. For the most part, I feel fairly confident saying they're probably set up to be on one PO. Can't say with 100% certainty, knowing how every category is set up. So the procurement agent, they'll be able to provide that feedback. Okay, so next slide. To Sean's question, what does it look like when a price or quantity or PO changes? This is what it'll look like. So you will have a new PO that will show up, and it will have highlighted in yellow whatever the change was from the prior PO. So if there's a quantity that's in white or a price that's in white, there's been no change. It was there on the prior PO. If it's highlighted in yellow, it's either changed, or you've added a quantity or removed a quantity or new SKU or whatever, but it's a change to that new purchase order. On BWP, you'll be able to see the history of your POs as well if you want to go back and see what's changed from one to another.
You know, and BW.
Very quick. We've been said within like probably 15, 30 minutes. Yeah, it should come out. Now, as we're working through changes, we can pilot group again. There could be things that come up. So, but it should be, I'm not gonna say instant, but quick. Yep. Yeah. And I forgot to repeat the question. The question was, how quickly do these reflect on BWP? So 15 to 30 minutes. So the question is, if there's like a new material or material change, would that be highlighted? The answer is yes. Yeah. Yeah, in this scenario, I mean, to go back, you can see it's customized freeze bananas, a unit dollar of 20 for the first line. If I go back 2 slides, customized frozen banana, unit dollars of 25. That was the only change. Okay. So really the last piece overall of the PO, and I would say the geography of what the PO is going to look like is if you've used lot level building materials in the past, looking specifically for colors, those colors will no longer be on the PO. Those colors will be housed in BWP, like in a BQI packet, or you can go back and look at the selections if you're looking at the options, and you can see the colors. Reason being now, as they're all tied to the base house, so if the color gets updated, it would generate new build material or new POs for everyone. So this is something that we're actively working on. It's near the top of the list to try to get colors onto PO, but at this point in time, they will not be. So please refer to BWP, refer to your BQI packets. That should have all this information. Okay. Any questions on just the overall layout of the PO, what it looks like, what it means, before we get into some of the other stuff?
Price schedules. What is a price schedule?
It is a new addition to our, it's not something we've used before. So I want to make a couple things clear before we really get into what a price schedule is. First, we showed a PO with lump sum pricing. If you are lump sum, you will not have a price schedule. You still will have a PO, but you won't have a price schedule. So I want to make that clear before we get into it, that you'll still have a PO. So if you just got excited about what Andy talked about, you can still be excited. So a price schedule is more or less a trade partner list of pricing. Okay. So there will be, we'll even just pull it up for you. This is a price list. So you'll see the market level here, unit of measure, purchase pro item name, and all of the SKUs as well as pricing. This is going to explain to you how much you're getting paid for every single SKU that we use, that we purchase from you. This is at, as I mentioned, the market level. This is pricing for every community. This is uniform, not different per community, community basis. So there's also a contract addendum down at the bottom. This allows us to put historical context to pricing. If there was a change, what was the change? When did it happen? You'll be able to reference your addendum to see those changes. So you get a little bit of history there. Even the example shows, effective 1/25/2025 and new market opportunities resulting in 5% savings. So you're able to go look and see, okay, starting the 25th of January, we had 5% decrease. And that's how you'll know. Questions before I move on? This is the price schedule, but you'll notice there's additional things on the price schedule. If you were to have different pricing from community to community, a group showing different pricing. So group one, there's a key at the bottom. You'll see here are the communities, as well as the price that you're going to get paid for each SKU in that community. So if it were to vary from community to community, you're able to see the groups that it's in and the pricing. Similarly, if you have a double dash like there is here, the pricing does not change in that community. So it stays to the default of the market level pricing. And then again, you see the contract addendum that can call out communities as they change. Yes. Yeah, good question. His question was, when do the price schedules come out? So the majority of you will still be on Schedule A come Monday when we go to pass PO. And you'll still get a purchase order, but you will be on Schedule A. We will slowly start rolling out price schedules within the first few weeks. Some of you it'll take longer than others. It just depends on how your account is set up. So you can talk to each procurement agent about that. But the end goal is for us to all be on price schedules and no more Schedule A's. But that won't be immediate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's clarify.
Yeah, lump sum. If you're lump sum, if you stay lump sum, you will not have a price schedule. You'll stay on the Schedule A. Still have a PO, but you'll function off of the Schedule A. So really, the price schedule is used with the PO to verify pricing. But if you're on a price schedule instead of Schedule A's, you do not need to sign Schedule A's anymore. You will sign the price schedule with pricing, and as long as that doesn't change, you can look at it with your PO, and then you'll know if you're being paid correctly. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the price schedule part of this, right? This is the end goal. This is the future state. Some of you are going to transition over the next month or so to a price schedule based contract system, right? What that means is, right, you don't have individual Schedule A's for each community that you'll have to sign, right? We're just managing this price schedule with you in this list of itemized pricing. right? So the banana price changes. We're gonna update the one price schedule and then send it to you to be signed off on, right? As opposed to, right, those that are in lump sum, one set price, hey, we're gonna pay you $4,000 to do a whole house of electric, right? Sounds like a pretty good price. A little bit more, you need to, yeah. If you're in that environment, right, you won't be on a price schedule. You still get the purchase order that's lot specific, but the requirement is still gonna be that you need to sign a community specific Schedule A as well. So still better, right? One-time Schedule A, and then you guys want to lower that 4,000 to 3,000, they'll go sign all the Schedule A's again. So I know it's a little complex, but when we're working specific, right, not trying to use the demonstration of selling a banana bunch, right? When we're talking specifically to you about your account, this will make a lot more sense. So, more communication on price schedules will be coming up with those that will be impacted the next few weeks. Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Can you guys hear me?
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Go ahead again, Kevin.
Can you hear me?
Go through, but not.
Natalia Pingman said she could hear me, but sounds like you guys can't. Yes, okay.
Go ahead again.
Trey?
Give us 1 second here, Kevin. Notifications are coming through the audio, but not the microphone.
All good. Just let me know when you're ready.
Very good.
Kevin, try it again.
Hey, guys.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yep, you're good.
All right, awesome. So Trey gave the preamble to BWP. We'll just hit home again. If you don't have an account, go ahead and get registered today. It's a pretty quick process. They'll turn that around internally. Usually within 30 minutes to an hour, you'll have your account activated. When you do log into BWP Monday, we will start the generation of purchase orders Monday evening. So you won't see anything new until Tuesday morning of next week, the 21st. And when you log into BWP, we want to walk you through what things have changed and what you can expect as you get into the application. So on the homepage, most of you who are in here already are already familiar with what this looks like. On the left, we have the What's New portal. And then up top, I want to call your attention to what we've changed with the jobs. You still have your search jobs drop down, which many of you as trades who are doing work with Pulte have accessed probably every day throughout your tenure here. What's new is what we've called the search job POs function. So as you log into, you've received an email on What's New. Hey, you have X amount of new purchase orders as a trade partner doing work in these communities. We'll ask you to go directly to this search job POs portal. Okay, I'm logged in as Edward Bluth, the owner of the banana stand that Andy and Trey mentioned earlier. So you have a couple different options here. You can search for your POs by all communities or by your selected communities. I know that for this trade partner, they only exist in this Ballantyne community. I'm working in our Michigan market. So you'll have the ability to pull up directly what you're looking for. If you've received a purchase order and you have questions on that exact PO number, you'll be able to go down and search the PO number right here. Or if you know what trade category or what lot you've done work in or your order is in question, you can search that way. So I know that we're in lot 16. I'm just going to type that in and select search. So you'll see a couple things. These are this is going to display every single purchase order that applies to you, your trade partner. If you are, somebody had mentioned they do multiple different trade categories. If that is the case, you'll see every single purchase order for the trade categories you are either providing work, labor, or materials for. Okay. So a couple different things here. You can download the current version of your purchase order at any given time by selecting this filled in file icon here to the right. This will always give you the most recent purchase order. In this case, this is a voided PO we've done with the banana stand. Now, if that's not what you're looking for, you want to see the history of the purchase orders that you've been delivered. Somebody asked the question of if we have material changes or if we have a TPL increase, decrease, how do we access that? What does it look like? You'll always have the ability to view your purchase order history by clicking this icon off to the far right here. Okay, so this will show you the original job PO. This was created in January of this year, and then it'll show you the subsequent versions as they build out to what is now your most recent PO, which we just downloaded. And those look kind of like this. So your original PO, you can see the changes as we progress through each one of them. And again, every single one of these that is highlighted indicates a change that's occurred on this PO from the most recent delivered version. So as we get further through these POs, they're only going to show changes from the last version. Okay, and that's how you're going to get all of those. If you do need to reconcile changes, and something new we've added since we last spoke is if you've received an updated purchase order after we've already paid you and we had to push changes to a lot that's already been paid, we'll show you the original paid amount down by the grand total as well to help you reconcile your differences for what that lot should cost. So just another thing that we've added in the last several months. As far as PO history, there will be a couple updates on this page. It'll be a little bit more descriptive as to what you're downloading, just give you a little bit better details. That's how you get to the history. You also have the page that you are most familiar with now, which is the search jobs. And you can access this the same way you do today by just typing in the actual job you're looking for. You should all be pretty familiar with this. Once you go into the job details, this has all the same information that you're used to. Once it loads. And then within that, you can also download your job POs as well. Well, they're not doing a QA build on me. Give me 1 second. Okay. So as we go in here, this is a link that's been added new, and you'll see it on Monday, Tuesday morning when you go in to access your existing jobs. This has all the information that you are familiar with now, the entire option configuration on each lot. You'll access this by going into job POs. And then this will again show you the same information for the entirety of that job. If you're wanting a more pointed view and you're not super interested in the POs as it exists for the entirety of the Indy Louisville market, you'll be able to access the singular job information and pull up all your POs the same way you can in that other page. So as far as downloading in BWP, you have multiple different options. In terms of when you're researching your payments, nothing about this will change. You'll have the ability to go in. What you will see on a go forward is the PO information in BWP will be available under the checks and invoices and jobs tab, excuse me. So you'll be able to go in here and search by the invoice. The invoice will be just the same as the PO number that you received. So if you're looking for, hey, when was I paid for this certain purchase order, you'll have the ability to go in here and check yourself. With more functionality coming to that as well, we'll be able to tie check numbers to invoice numbers in a more thorough capacity. So you'll have no questions as to when you received a payment for a job done for a purchase order delivery. Okay, and then the What's New portal works going forward with purchase orders the same way it does today. You'll always be a day in arrears for What's New portal. So I told you on the upfront that purchase orders will be delivered first thing Tuesday morning. The way our system is built is they generate overnight. So when we're configuring jobs Monday evening, you'll start to see them in the system Tuesday. You will receive the What's New email and notification on Wednesday morning because it always backdates a day. So what has changed over the last 24 hours. So as you start to get more into the process of of checking BWP for POs as they're delivered, you'll always see that email detailing out exactly what was delivered over the last 24 hours. If there are ever any questions as to when am I going to receive this PO, when am I going to be notified that POs have been created, have been delivered to to BWP. So just make sure that when you, if you are new and you are registering to BWP, make sure you sign up for what's new notifications. I think what we did last time, Trey, is we sent out the BWP training deck after the phone call, and we'll make sure to do that again today. So if there are any questions as to how do you sign up and register for all this, we'll provide that. Okay, so as far as accessing the POs or when you'll have the ability to access them, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but it's a pretty straightforward, brief process. And again, everything's going to be housed under this jobs, search job POs. You'll have access to anything that we create and deliver to you will fall under this tab.
So for the first few ones, right, you get the PO, we ask you to review it within 48 hours of receiving that PO. Let your procurement agent know if there's any issues within that 48 hours. That way we can take care of it ahead of the job schedule. You know, we're going to work with you definitely for the first few, but as you all have all received that MTCA addendum, the final state, the end goal is to you review it within 48 hours. And then after that 48 hours pass, that's it. You accepting the PO as is. Just to hit on that, it's the FPO process is not changing. No FPO equals no work. If you do work without an FPO, you will not get paid. Same thing will be if you perform work without a job PO, you will not get paid for that work. So ensure that you're kind of following along. Make sure that you are reviewing these POs as soon as they're generated. If there's any issues, once again, reach out to your procurement agent and let us resolve it before we do the work. That way we're not going back 6 months down the road after work was complete and going back and, you know, your AR department's upset and then we have to go back and make corrections. Once again, with that, your procurement agent is also going to take the responsibility. If you email us that there's an issue with your PO, we are going to send you an email within 48 business hours to tell you how we're going to resolve it, what the path forward is to get that fixed. So the payment schedule is not going to change. The payment calendar will be sent out via email. We're going to send that back out, but it's not going to change. That is also accessible in BWP under the documents. And the way you are paid is not going to change. It'll be paid based on when the construction manager clicks the task off as complete. So none of your payment, the way you're getting paid is not changing. It's just going to be more transparent, more so that you can line up what you're getting paid on each job site. As we discussed, your procurement agent is here to support you through this transition. Any pricing changes, any Schedule A, any SKU level detail, reach out to your procurement agent directly. As Andy mentioned, the construction manager is going to be on the PO as the contact, but they will not be able to help you with payment. So please reach out to your procurement agent directly. That goes for quantity changes, SKU changes, all of that. Contracting adjustments versus FPOs. As I said, FPO process is not changing. Contract adjustments will be done through the BWP system. Through the BWP system. So contracting adjustments will be done through the BWP system and you will get a new FPO, or a new job PO with the highlighted changes. And if there is a contract change, after the PO has been made, what it'll do is it'll generate an automatic check request. So that's just for, once again, that's just for your scheduled work, your contract work, anything that's extra. If there's damages, The FPO process does not change. And then just want to hit on job PO release versus ordering. So you're going to get your job PO before it's time for the material to be on site or for the labor to be on site. So ensure you're still following your BWP schedule to know when you need to order the material. Don't, unless you're going to warehouse it, you don't need to order the material 3 months before the task is going to be complete when you get when you get your PO. Make sure you follow that BWP schedule for ordering the material.
Yes.
Sarah,
If the procurement agent does not reply within 48 hours, I would ask you to escalate that to the next level. If the senior procurement agent. But yes, we are making the commitment to reply within 48 hours of your inquiry.
What's your best leverage if we don't reply? What, Jimmy? Don't do the job. I agree with Jimmy. Biggest leverage you have, right? If your PO's not right, don't show up. There's nobody in construction in the room, so I can say that currently. They don't like when I say that, but it's a true statement, right? We're telling you your biggest leverage is to have the PO and you need the right amount before you do the work. So that's our obligation. Trust me. It'll be a tough conversation when they come running into the office saying you didn't show up because your PO wasn't right. We won't respond, right? So that's how this system works.
Questions online? Any other questions in the room? Yes.
I feel like it was mentioned earlier, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but to get access to the purchase order, is that gonna be on BWP? Or will the purchase order be emailed to us?
So the question was, will the purchase order be emailed? Will the The question was, will the purchase order be emailed to you or do you have to access it through BWP? The answer is you have to have a BWP account and you have to access the purchase order through BWP.
Okay, it wasn't just Daniel, it's not working again. All right, I'm gonna talk loud, stand over this direction, that's where the mic is, as well. I'm gonna bring us home. I know we don't have this much of attention span, I don't either. So timeline, next steps, right? Implementation date, 10/20. We're rolling, right? Next Monday is the implementation date, right? There'll be a sample set of lots. Kevin mentioned 12 lots. Okay, that we have chosen for the Louisville market, 8 in the Indianapolis market. That'll be the first sample set of lots. That'll be configured Monday, released Tuesday AM on BWP. Should have the new notifications, right? To where you'll be able to go online and every account category will have a PO active. They'll all be released at once, right? That's not future state. But for these 12 jobs, we want you in the system, pulling the POs, auditing it, conversing with our procurement team on what that looks like, checking your backup Schedule A's to make sure it's accurate. Right? So those 12 will go out. We will communicate out. Natalia will send out an email tomorrow, this slide deck. She'll list the 12 lots that will be sample set of lots, as well as procurement org chart, right? If you don't know your procurement agent, stay on us, but who you need to be communicating with as well through this process. So after that, right, to move forward, so we're stating all configurations. What the heck's a configuration, right? That's a new, we call it a job initial order. If I got that right? JIO in our system, right? So sales configured, sold lot, and we configured the spec. So there may be a gap of a different amount of time, depending on what your category is, in between these first set of 12 jobs and then your next set of POs, right? If you're on the back end, right? Whoever, power washer, cleaner, gutters, right? Very back in your job, this may be a 2-3 month window before you get your first set of reoccurring, not first set, the next set of reoccurring purchase orders after that, right? We have to determine what phase your purchase order is going to be released in, dependent on, obviously, when you need to order your product, when you need to be on site, right? So some of it might be at the very start. Some of it might be, in our second phase, right? After we pass mechanical inspections, it's just dependent on when we can send that out. What we should do, I don't know, Talia's listening online, but I don't know if we sent out, when those will be sent out, depending on your category. That's probably a need of ours to say, okay, electric, right? These POs will be sent out this day. Foundation can be sent out on the front end. So we'll get that communication out as well. All backlog lots, right? Anything not on this list, we'll send you the lock list as well, right? Some new configurations. We'll identify exactly which jobs. Those will all be paid out through the Schedule A. Sign Schedule A, still the contract, right? That's what we're going to pay you on. So there'll be a lot of back and forth. We know that. It's a work in progress. You communicate with us, our commitments, communicate back to you, give you the information you need to keep this process flowing. Always has fingers crossed to see it. Okay, any questions? Obviously, we'll be around.